Casemiro wins Player of the Week after his fantastic performance versus Fulham. And wow, it's going to be difficult to replace Casemiro. One game a week, Casemiro is a top player. And not only do we need to replace Casemiro, but we also need a backup to that replacement. We need two elite midfielders to fill Casemiro's boots. And that's not going to be easy. But the standout name for that is Elliot Anderson. But it's always felt like Anderson wants to go to Manchester City, wants to, work with Pep, win titles. Manchester City have been more ambitious and more successful, sadly, than Manchester United in these last 10 years. But Pep Guardiola is believed to be leaving Manchester City, and that could put Elliot Anderson off. He's not going to make a decision until, first of all, he knows if both teams are in the Champions League, and second of all, who their managers could be. If Manchester United get Champions League football, which is looking more likely, and Pep leaves City, Anderson could then pick Manchester United. We've also been linked to Wolves youngster Matheus Mane, who's been looking fantastic at Wolves, young winger. Updates on Kobbie Mainoo, how Amrin wanted him gone in January and how Mainoo is now set to stay and sign a new contract. And Garnacho's talk about Manchester United has completely backfired, so we might as well enjoy that while we can. Anyway, people, welcome back to Alice Talks Football. This is your 10-minute roundup. If you're new to the channel, every single evening on the channel, I do a video rounding up all the latest Manchester United news into 10 minutes for you guys. Feel free to hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. You're welcome to subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. So, Solly has confirmed that Casemiro has won this week's Premier League Player of the Match week after his impressive performance in Manchester United's 3-2 win against Fulham. He gets the goal, he gets a no-look assist, we're 2-0 up, he comes off, we look shambles, we concede 2 goals. I mean, Casemiro was key. Every time Casemiro's come off in a match this season, we've fallen apart. And look, some people will say, well, look, people are blaming Agate. I don't think it's necessarily always Agate's fault. But Agate just cannot fill Casemiro's boots. I think Agate plays his best football next to Casemiro, and I think Agate is probably actually more of an 8. Man United don't have anyone that could do what Casemiro can do. And what Man United need is they need a Casemiro replacement, and they need a backup for that Casemiro replacement. Because if we go and replace Casemiro with Elliot Anderson gets injured, we're back to this. Man United need 2 elite midfielders, which is why we're looking at Elliot Anderson and Carlos Baleba to fill Casemiro's boots. Because Casemiro is going to be hard to replace. I know his legs are gone. I know he's had good and bad times for Manchester United. But he's a very intelligent player. We control the ball better when he's on the pitch. We are defensively better when he's on the pitch. He has that leadership. He has that experience. And this is 100... Also, this is why I don't want Bruno Fernandes to leave this summer. I mean, there's 100 reasons why I don't want Bruno Fernandes to leave this summer. And this is one of those 100 reasons. Casemiro is a leader. We cannot lose Casemiro and Bruno in the same window. My hope is we get Champions League football, we keep Bruno, we get Anderson, we get Baleba, potentially a third midfielder for depth like Muzakitas. Mainoo signs a new deal. Bruno stays. Boom. It's going to be so hard to replace Casemiro. I think a lot harder than people think. Now, I obviously want Elliot Anderson. There's a feeling he wants to go to Manchester City, but that could change. Pep Guardiola not expected to renew a new deal at City that expires in 2027 as uncertainty hangs over whether he sees out the final year. There's a lot of uncertainty to whether he might go this year. Report on the Manchester City transition and why the January window has offered encouragement that there's a lifeline after Guardiola. So there is a feeling that Pep is going to leave Man City in the summer. Even though his contract's out next year, there's a feeling he's going to leave this summer. Now, I'm not the most educated or informed when it comes to political stuff, but there was a rumour of Pep disagreeing with the Man City owners' stuff and politics being involved. I don't know how true that is. Pep's not happy. He wants out this season. I'm not sure how true any of those rumours are, but Pep's expected to leave Manchester City in the next 2 years, potentially this summer. There's more signs indicating he's going to leave this summer. And if Pep leaves this summer, I think that puts Man United in a stronger position when it comes to targets like Elliot Anderson. So then you'll pick City over us. There's a feeling Elliot Anderson will pick City over us. But if we get top 4 and we look quite promising, City's downfall continues. I say that, but it looks like City are going to be in the final. I'm filming this at half-time and they're battering Newcastle. We'll have to wait and see, because Elliot Anderson is who Manchester United want. Elliot Anderson is our number 1 transfer target. It's been confirmed by many sources. Elliot Anderson is Manchester United's dream transfer target, number 1 transfer target, all of that. We want Elliot Anderson. We're going to go all out for Elliot Anderson. Now, the thing that's stopping us from getting him is potentially Manchester City. He prefers Manchester City. He wants to work with Pep. He wants to win titles. Pep leaving, as I mentioned a million times this video, that benefits Manchester United. I think we need to get top four, and I think Pep needs to leave for it to happen. There is rumours that he could go back to Newcastle United, but with how Newcastle are playing right now, I don't think he will. A lot of sources said that Anderson is Manchester bound. They don't know which Manchester club yet, but he is Manchester bound. And a lot of reports have said he's Man United and Man City's #1 target. They're going to battle it out for him. He's expected to go to Manchester. He's not made a decision yet. He wants to wait and see who each club's long-term manager is. And I think it could depend massively on the manager we bring in. If we bring in a manager that isn't very inspiring and City bring in a top manager, he may well go to Manchester City. But if we bring in a manager that's a really big, inspiring manager, we have top four, I think Elliot Anderson could potentially pick us. Now, look, if Elliot Anderson doesn't pick us, Balaba's on that list. I think Balaba, at the beginning of the season, I would have taken over Anderson any day. But going off this season's form, I think, Anderson's been a lot better than Balaba. Balaba has definitely improved since AFCON, but Anderson's been a better of two. And I look at how we missed out on Declan Rice all those years ago, and just how good and pivotal Declan Rice has been to Arsenal. I just think we cannot miss out on Elliot Anderson. But if we do miss out on him, I do think we've got Balaba. There's a feeling that United have got Balaba in the bag. Anderson's the one that we're going to struggle to get. Anyway, let's talk into other news stories. Manchester United, one of several Premier League clubs looking at Matheus Mane. He's caught the eye of scouts, and Wolves are keen to retain him, I think he'd do really good in the Championship at Wolves, but I think he has potential to be a Premier League level player, and he's looking like a Premier League level player right now. Matheus Mane has been very, very exciting. The one thing I will say is Tyler Dibling got a lot of hype last season, has gone to Everton, not really done anything this season. I think with Matheus Mane, he's one of those players that I'd like United to look at, and if you could get him on a nice deal, potentially invest in, but I don't want him to be our answer to, I know he plays a mixture of centre forward and right wing and attacking midfield, but I don't want him to be our answer there. We need a left winger. He's not played left wing for Wolves. Matheus Mane is someone in a couple of years I'd like to see where he's at and maybe pick him up. I like him. If United could get him on a very good deal, I'm all open for Matheus Mane coming in as a young prospect. But I think we've seen with the impact of Cunha and Mbeumo, United need ready-made now players, proven players. Yan Diamonde, I'm not 100% convinced. Matheus Mane, I rate him greatly, but I don't think he's what we need right now. I look at Tyler Dibling. Imagine if we spent 40 million on Tyler Dibling. He's not offering Everton anything. He wouldn't offer us anything. Matheus Mane, if he's 40 million, I think he's good. I think he's going to be better than Tyler Dibling. But it's just, he could be the next Lamine Yamal, and we could be saying, we should have spent 40 million on him. Or we could be the next Tyler Dibling. I don't really want to take those risks. I want someone like an Njai, a Prem-proven ready-made player now, and then we can look at Matheus Mane in a few years. But look, if Matheus Mane is available for like 15, 20 million and Man United get him, I'm like, fair play. This could be an absolute bargain. I like Matheus Mane, but I don't want to break the bank for him. Talking of a player we almost sold for 40 million, or talking of 40 million, this is a player we almost sold for 40 million, and that was Mainoo. If Ruben Amorim hadn't been sacked, Mainoo would likely not be a Man United player right now. He was set to leave on loan to Napoli, talks were advanced. Man United looked at selling Mainoo for 40 million in the summer because of Ruben Amorim. They didn't do that. In January, they looked to loan him out to Napoli because of Ruben Amorim, and they were going to see if they could bring in Gallagher to replace him. So sell Mainoo for 40 million, bring Gallagher in for 35 million is what Amorim wanted, which is crazy. And luckily that did not happen because Mainoo has been so key in our last few games. And I think Amorim's reluctance to use Mainoo and play Bruno out of position so we didn't have to play Mainoo was one of the reasons it cost him his job. Manchester United have moved to accelerate contract talks with midfielder Kobbie Mainoo, and discussions penciled in for this month. There's a feeling that Kobbie is now going to sign a new contract at Manchester United as he's playing every week. Mainoo also only wanted to go out on loan because he didn't want to leave Man United permanently. He wanted to try and force his way back in as well. And last but not least, and people will say, why do you keep bringing up Garnacho? He's left. And that is because, well, there's not loads of news. We're only in one game a week, and, he's bringing up Man United. So Garnacho said just before the Carabao Cup semi-final, everyone knows how hard it is to play at the Emirates. We lost the first game. I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, but no one won yet at the Emirates. But now I think the view is a little bit different. For example, if Manchester United can beat them there, we can do it perfectly. I think, he's just saying that if Man United can now win at the Emirates, Chelsea can, Arsenal aren't beaten there anymore. But Garnacho comes out and says that if Man United can win at the Emirates, then Chelsea can definitely do it. La la la. Chelsea were crap. Garnacho came on, he was crap. And for someone that was so annoyed that we only got 40 million when we sold Garnacho, because I saw Elanga go for 50 million, Gittins go for 55 million. I saw, a lot worse players than Garnacho go for crazy fees. I'm quite happy with the 40 million now. I was fuming when we only got 40 million for him, because I was like, Madueke, Gittins, and Elanga all going for 15 million more. I thought it was a joke. But actually, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy we got 40 million because he's not been great. Thank you for watching. Bye.